Mothering is such a sacred task, and we really open our hearts and wish Happy Mother's Day to all the mothers in the sanctuary this morning and beyond in the community. And on Mother's Day can be a nuanced, complex holiday for many of us. We embrace memories of our mothers and being mothers, and we honor struggles with difficult memories involving motherhood. And we honor that whole range of complex memories. And today, we're taking a step back and looking at the full scope of our lives and seeing how memories can lift us up, can hold us back so much more. So, as we're going to be exploring memories throughout the service, where we have children in throughout, from start to finish, I'm inviting everybody to get out your inner artist, your artist's way, and we have different sheets that we invite you to color. And we have folks who can, if you don't have these sheets, please raise your hand. We have some advanced participants over here. Could you guys help? If you don't have stuff, if you don't have coloring utensils or paper, raise your hand and folks will bring them around. Okay, so please be doing that throughout, and we're going to pass out stuff to each other later. How wonderful it is when we reconnect with the reality that seemingly small things can trigger rich memories. Mother's Day is a time of many memories, but it can be just many small things that trigger memories. Diane Ackerman wrote a book called A Natural History of the Senses, and in the book, Ackerman says, nothing is more memorable than a smell. One scent can be unexpected and fleeting, and yet it could conjure up a childhood summer day beside a lake sometime long ago, or a family dinner, a pot roast and sweet potatoes. And sights can hit tripwires, whether it's with your mom or being a mom or something else. You could just see somebody kneeling and planting flowers in a flower bed, and it might explode a memory, but just almost like a vision comes out from your consciousness of something that happened or you wanted long ago. And memory does not always work so well. At certain times in my life, I've struggled with very poor memory. You may have struggled with memory yourself. In my early 20s, I suffered from depression, which impaired my ability to remember quite a bit. At one point, for example, I was in a study group in college, putting in as many hours as the other students, but when we got together for the practice test, I just drew a complete blank, and I knew something was wrong. The memory system was just not working right. I got scared at that point. It was daunting. And during that blue period of my life, I remember a dear friend of the heart asked me if I had had a happy childhood, and I was so upset because I could not remember if I'd had it. It was almost like the depression was a wall that I couldn't see past, going backwards, blocking my view. A number of studies indicate that we humans remember with less accuracy than many might assume. For example, when thinking about childhood memories, studies show that people are susceptible to believing stories that you heard about yourself, even if it's not true. So, did we really, as a family, walk up and down the shore that day for many miles, or is that just something our big sister made up and now we think it's true? Pat Murphy and Paul Daugherty are memory researchers, and they explain people tend to think of memory being like a tape recorder or a camera, capturing what's out there and then keeping it on the data file. And that does not match with current thinking of most memory researchers. That's not how they understand it to work. There's not enough database to hold it all as part of it. Research describes memory as an of an event is something like you constructing from bits and pieces. You are constructing from bits and pieces from what you saw and heard, experienced and felt, from the things people told you afterwards, from thoughts, implications. All of that is filtered by your attitude, by who you are. So that's a lot of factors. And the question comes, I think, for a spiritual journey of health and wholeness, a question becomes, which bits and pieces from an event do you keep to construct a memory? How do you process what you thought and felt at the time when you're constructing a memory? How does your attitude and who you are affect your memory? And how does your memory affect your attitude and who you are? So that's a lot of questions, but it's important to wrestle with it because there's a lot to gain and there's a lot to lose. Forest Church says that with practice we can organize our memories in ways that prove most conducive to balance, reconciliation, and hope. With practice, and partly that's what we do in Beloved Community. Practice remembering together so that we can have the most hope or justice or peace. Every day you make decisions about how you organize your memories. You might go to a social event, have a really nice time, but one person says two things that really bug you. Anybody recognize this scenario? How do you focus on remembering that event? You could, right? We all know I could choose to focus on the two things that person said that were so annoying to me, or focus more on the whole event that was so enjoyable and such a blessing. And many of us in community, this is a lot of the blessing of church life to me. I've had healing in my life that now I clearly remember many times of happiness in my childhood. I was lucky enough that my mom stayed home, sent me off to school, and maybe as a precursor of the jazz band life we have, I used to love to sing When the Saints Go Marching In to myself on the way to school. I'd get down on my knee like I was in a Broadway drama, just sing out in the neighborhood when the Saints. I think, oh yeah, I did that. I must have been pretty happy to sing When the Saints Go Marching In to myself on my knee in the neighborhood going to school. But how about you? Do you have memories on Mother's Day or any day that you could be rekindling in loving support of yourself, your family, and our community?